This former Clay High School teacher's locked up after pleading guilty to child solicitation involving one of his students. This former Indiana teacher made national news and faces more than 20 charges after she allegedly forced multiple boys into having group sex with her. And this former Stark County teacher charged with child seduction, accused of having sex with a student at his home. These cases are among a troubling pattern of Indiana teachers accused of abusing their position of trust.
My heart is broken all the time. It's very hard work. It is very hard to hear these, stories over and over and over again.
Terry Miller is the president of Sesame, a national organization working to prevent the sexual exploitation, abuse, and harassment of students by their teachers. And you believe that this is a safety issue that's being ignored.
This is the child's safety danger that lies within the halls and walls of the school itself.
I reviewed public data from the Indiana Department of Education website. The licenses of nearly 50 Indiana teachers had been revoked, several permanently, since 2023. And a closer look at the numbers, one reason clearly stood out. Nearly 2/3 of those 50 Indiana teachers, according to state data, lost their license for sex-related offenses involving children. The majority of cases involve a student under the teacher's care.
There seems to be a way that these predators find their victims, and sometimes we say that it's like the victim has a target on their back.
We contacted the Indiana Department of Education 5 times in 1 week to request an on-camera interview to get answers to some of our questions about our findings. 2 different people on 2 different days replied to my request with the same response: a copy of Indiana laws. Neither response addressed my request for an interview. After pressing the department for several more days, the message, "We do not have anyone available for an interview at this time," finally appeared in my inbox. You say that's not surprising. Why do you say that?
2/3 of their license revocations or suspensions or voluntary surrenders are for sexual misconduct. You would think that they would go, "Oh my gosh, we've got a huge problem. We should do something about this." But the fact that they're ignoring you and not coming on to say what they're going to do about it is very telling. And that's why the problem continues to grow and continues to exist.
So we found out what you can do to protect your children. Now, many of the cases that your firm takes on, you say, involves grooming, and you said there's some signs that parents really need to watch out for, like special treatment, extra attention, private attention, attention and communications outside of school, like text messaging late at night.
They make them feel special. They give them way too much attention, and it just grows over time. Sometimes the grooming can take years.
Department of Education data shows millions of children are potentially at risk.
1 in 10 K through 12 students suffer some form of educator sexual misconduct between kindergarten and 12th grade.
That's why it's so important. If you have concerns or suspect misconduct, you need to report it to your child's school. You say do it in writing.
If they simply call the school could later say, "You never told us." And that might make a difference in terms of whether the person offends again going forward.
Attorneys and advocates admit reporting and investigating in the short term can be both difficult and scary, but it is necessary to stop abusers and case after case after case of sex crimes against children from happening.
They're doing their own child an injustice by keeping it hidden, and they're doing other potential victims an injustice by keeping it hidden. Shining a light on it is the best fix.
Thanks for watching. Here's another story you may like, and subscribe to the WSBT 22 YouTube channel.